Hello, Star Wars Galaxy of Hero players. This is Droid, and today I'm going to be covering the kit of C-3PO. I know it's a day late. It happens. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about C-3PO's kit. Of course, if you guys have watched the Game Changers yesterday on 12/12 when this came out, of 2018, they did not, there was some slight updates, like, I don't remember all of them, but I know this one was originally 4-turn cooldown ability, so. But yeah, here's C-3PO's kit. We do see some teams that they synergize with. Synergizes a lot with these two. Basics, oh boy. This guy makes these two hit even harder. And I'll explain that when I get to the rest of the ending of the kit. This is the first kit to have literally one basic unit, or one basic ability, one special ability, and 5 unique abilities. The first character to have 7. Journey characters always have 6 abilities: a basic, special, leader, unique. And then anything that comes close to that is bounty hunters, where they have a basic, special, leader, unique, and then they have their payout. So it's the first character to break that. I hope they break him one more time and give him another buff for a certain faction, but we'll cover that when that time comes. So let's get into his kit. Obviously, if you see here, it's Baffling Trick. He inflicts Confuse for 3 turns. Max 3, which can't be evaded. If the target is already confused, the duration of the current stacks are reset. Reduce target enemy's cooldown meter by 6% and additional 3% for each stack of translation. So it's kind of going to be like a light turn meter removal effect, but that's just it's not going to be a lot. 6, 3, 6, 9. So it's about 15% turn meter if all 3 stacks are there. So yeah, if you can find a way of getting him to assist a lot, General Kenobi will definitely do that on an assist call. So yeah. Especially if he works with Rex there. Basic. That's like, what is, I don't remember Rex's basic, but yeah. But yeah, also there's another kind of cool thing about Confuse. It is a unique buff to C-3PO. It's brand new. It does have some question marks above it. I don't have any pictures, but some of you would have seen it already. Determinal effects. Oh, wait, sorry. So it's based on the number of stacks, and there's only max of 3. So the stack 1 is can't gain buff, so it's a buff immunity. Stack 2 is daze, can't counter, assist, or gain bone meter, or gain bonus turn meter. And against raid bosses, it reduces the counter chance, kind of like Thrawn's Fracture. And then stack 3 is whenever a character uses this basic ability, they increase all of their cooldowns by 1. So you can kind of see a daze buff immunity mechanic along with kind of a Thrawn Fracture against raids, and now a Nihilus effect, because Nihilus was the first character to reduce cooldowns. Or wait, no, I think it was Death Trooper, but it was more noticeable by Darth Nihilus. He's more of the pro at it. But raid bosses also lose negative 50%, which does not stack with defense down. So yeah, there's a lot of craziness with this negative status effect. Again, I will stress it. I hope the developers actually add a menu or like something in the options to give us tips on how each debuff and buff works for those that are new players that don't see this and start, say, like the beginning of next year or something. But yeah, oh my goodness, is his first and only special. Gains potency and stealth for 2 turns. That's huge. It's huge. Stealth and potency for 2 turns. He definitely needs the potency. I'm assuming that people are going to run him with speed potency. I've been also thinking of running him with tenacity, also maybe a tenacity potency set just to keep him from dying. Also, I do want to quickly see he is at speed 144, so he's pretty quick, surprisingly. But yeah, he and another target ally gain translation for 3 turns, a new buff. Also, C-3PO inflicts Confuse twice on target enemy for 3 turns, then call other allies with translation to assist, dealing 50% less damage. So this is an ability. It will act like BB-8's first special, where he gives his buff, and that buff spreads like wildfire. And we'll go over the translation effects here in a second. But Protocol Droid, unique 1 of 5. C-3PO has 20 speed. While 3PO is active, Galactic Republic, Rebel, Resistance, and Ewok allies gain a unique buff of translation for 3 turns, max 3 stacks, each time they use a special ability. Translation cannot be copied, so Yoda can't copy it around. Ahsoka Fulcrum has to use the ability to, or use her one ability to get it before she can use it to Whirlwind. She can't copy it from other characters. But with 3PO active, she's going to use her meditate ability, and she's going to gain it anyways. If this character already has translation, the duration of all current stacks on this character reset 3 turns. Also, when 3PO is defeated, all translations will expire. So that's kind of cool. Well, that kind of keeps it with, that character. I think BB-8's buff stays around. Which, I don't know, I think it would have been cool to, if he dies, at least the buffs kind of stay around until they get dispelled or something. But translation has 3 bonus stack effects as well. Just like the other ones. He gains 30% max health for 1 stack, gains 15% critical chance for 2nd stack, and then for the 3rd stack, when C-3PO uses his basic ability, so if you could get him to call in assists a lot, like General Kenobi, IG-86, I don't know, somebody would decrease this character's cooldowns by 1. So anytime anyone has that translation buff, he's going to decrease cooldowns. So he could even theoretically speed up Illuminated Destiny on BB-8. So as long as he's basic, he's going to reduce that cooldown even faster. So 3PO with BB-8 and that is a viable option here. He's going to speed up that Illuminated Destiny a little bit faster, especially if he assists from BB-8's counterattack. He's just going to use his basic and, throw something on there, but hey, there you go. That's huge. Now, let's go into unique number 2. Wait for me. His R2-D2 C-3PO pairing effect. They each have plus 10% evasion for each of their own stacks of translation. At the start of encounter, R2 and 3PO gain translation for 3 turns. When there are no other allied combatants, 3PO escapes. So he's like Hermit Yoda. He does escape like Hermit Yoda. Which makes sense. Any character that can't do any attacks, why are they even going to stay in battle? It makes perfect sense, because Hermit Yoda would just sit there until he dies. He can keep healing himself and stall the turn, but why do that? They just let him, escape. So I'm going to assume if there are any other characters in the future, any other sort of protocol droids in the future that actually get added in, which don't... The only other one I could think they can add in is, which I never put it on my what Rebels can bring to SWGOH, is the Chopper's new droid buddy. Chopper's new droid buddy could, but I don't see that happening. Especially if you have 2 of those guys out. All you have to do is defeat 3 characters and you win the match. So I see it's going to be tricky to actually have all these characters, these type of characters on a team. Just imagine. It'd be crazy. But anyway, so yeah. So there's the little buff duo thing he has. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more that he synergized with R2-D2, like maybe calling an assist. Like his well, this is always going to call an assist, but I don't know, maybe not assist, but he does still buff R2-D2 with the rest of the kit as well. Like maybe this would have been nice to buff R2-D2 with, but let's go on. Intermediary. All allies gain 10% defense penetration. Each time a Galactic Republic or Ewok ally gains a different non-unique non-protection buff, they gain 15% protection up for 2 turns, does not stack with itself, and then for each stack of translation, Galactic Republic have plus 10% defense penetration, doubled for Ewoks, so Ewoks can get up to 30%. Yeah, Ewoks get a lot of buffs here. Cyborg relations. All allies have 10% potency. When a Rebel or Ewok ally uses the basic ability, They inflict expose on target enemy for 2 turns, which cannot be invaded. For each stack of translation, rebel allies have plus 10% potency, doubled for Ewoks. That's cool. Again, when I was talking about Chewie and Han, they do their damage more, especially like when Han Solo uses basic. He uses basic. They inflict expose. He's going to inflict expose. There's going to be like about 2-3 exposes inflicted. And these two are just going to dish out tons of damage to anybody, really. That's crazy. But anyways, going on to Fateful Mediator, all allies have plus 10% critical damage. So at least there's a base 10% of each of these boosted to all allies. So if he's throwing on a Jawa team, he's boosting them up. If he's thrown on any other teams, yeah. So whenever a Resistance or Ewok ally uses a special ability, they inflict offense down on target enemy for 2 turns, which can't be evaded. For each stack of translation, Resistance allies have plus 10% critical damage, doubled for Ewoks. So you kind of see a theme. Ewoks, obviously, someone's going to make an Ewok team and run the crap out of 3PO, and they might even be meta-defining. So, but outside of that, who knows? All these other teams are very viable. I'd change a few. Like this one, I would definitely change to L337 just for more droid synergy. And speaking of droid synergy, where's the unique for droids? But then again, 3PO didn't do any sort of repairs for droids or anything, but he did, I'd assume he'd have more respect. He at least communicated with droids easily because he was a droid himself. But I still feel like they missed out an opportunity. If they should give him a 6th unique and, yeah, it would go up to 8 abilities. 6th unique for just droids themselves. I do want to quickly skim through some droids. All dark side droids are off the table for this. A few droids that would get bonuses. So BB-8 or C-3PO and R2-D2 get the exact same bonuses, just because they're Galactic Republic, Resistance, and Rebel. BB-8 gets the Resistance buffs, so inflicting offense down and then critical damage. So he's going to do a little bit more on his counterattacks. Cool. Chopper and also K2SO, they have Chopper does have a he calls himself to assist 30% of the time whenever a droid uses any ability, whereas K2SO counters, so they're going to be inflicting expose around here and there, so that's cool. And of course he gives himself 30% evasion. So but outside of that, yeah, that's all the droid synergy you really get. Obviously, R2-D2 gets, his own droid synergy, but still. It makes me wonder if there's ever going to be a team without a leadership. So, here's my random theory. Here we go. So, you can throw R2-D2 in the leader spot. So what? Or C-3PO, whichever. So, that's 2 down. You could throw BB-8 in. You could definitely throw Chopper in. And then for a 5th, I would say L337. Crazy team, no leadership, but hey, technically you got 3 leaders in a sense out of it. 3PO, BB-8, and R2-D2, giving so many buffs throughout the board, it's not even funny. Not even funny. But, yeah, who knows? Again, I wouldn't mind have seen a leadership for at least droids for him, or at least a unique supporting droids, but outside of that, hey, this is still pretty good. Like, maybe droids get tenacity, and then get some sort of cool little bonus. Like maybe critical damage, or even critical avoidance, or health steal for each stack of translations. So, other than that, let me know what you guys think in the comments below about C-3PO. I do think that he's definitely going to be meta-defining, since he supports so many different teams, and some of these teams are already meta-defining already. Rex is going to probably be shooting back up there again, just because, this team's going to be tried out a bit. But other than that, thanks for watching. I really appreciate all those watch videos I make. Please share it. I love sharing my opinions out there. Hopefully developers maybe can pick up some of my ideas, as well as other of you guys' ideas. Again, thanks for watching. You guys have a wonderful day.